Scott was mentioning that he has a fire ant problem. I think, Scott, there is hope for you now.
I'm happy because as soon as I get rid of one mound, I have like 2 or 3 more that pop up. So I'm
It
all
happens.
ears.
They just relocate.
And they're awful.
They do.
They're awful. But Susan texted. Susan heard about your plight, your problem. She said, look, here's what you do. You take dry grits. She said, not the instant kind. Okay?
No gravy.
No.
Okay.
No gravy.
Leave the butter out.
The ants, listen to this. Here's the process. The ants take the grits to the queen, and when she eats it, it swells in her stomach and, well.
Okay, no.
That's all she wrote.
We get it. Okay. Wow.
And,
wow, grits.
And wait,
okay.
It doesn't just take her.
The whole hive mourns.
The whole hive. No, the whole hive.
They mourn and then have a
go
broken
down with
heart.
the ship.
Yeah. Then they
bit.
have a broken heart and then move on with the queen of the anthill, right?
How can grits take you out? They're delish.
Right.
They
So
swell in your tummy.
dry grits, Scott. Dry grits.
So grits are a great breakfast and a great tool in getting rid of those ants.
Right?
I like
yeah.
it.
And you don't have to go to Home Depot and buy the expensive stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm seeing it in my head. Like Scott at home with his wife and kids. They're all having their little cups of porridge, their grits.
They're good grits and gravy.
Porridge.
And
Get the biscuits.
they take a little handful, each of them, and they go out as a family and they sprinkle out to the fire ants.
Oh, wow.
I
Hey,
have your
science
Saturday.
experiment. Here we come.
Yeah.
No, it's a Saturday morning. Cartoons and
You're
grits.
listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
Scott was telling us you have a fire ant problem in the backyard, right?
I do.
Yeah.
And every time I take one out, 2 or 3 more pop open. In fact, I got bit this weekend, so
Oh,
I'm
no.
ready for a solution.
So someone
I'm ready.
texted earlier and said, hey, use dry grits. It works every time.
Yeah, takes out the hive. Okay, so now Brian texted and said, liquid metal down the hive. If you search YouTube, you'll see the results.
Liquid metal.
I don't know. Where
I
do
don't
you
have
buy that?
And how do I melt that?
Well, I think I would hope
Right?
it comes pre-melted, but I
don't
don't know.
I have seen a video of this.
Oh,
I actually
really?
have. And it is really cool because they pour it down and then they dig it up and you can see where the metal has seeped into all the tiny holes in the anthill.
Oh, so it kind of like molds the anthill, almost like a science
Yeah,
experiment.
it's really neat.
Sounds like Terminator. You know where that guy in the very first Terminator is
Oh,
all
no.
metal and everything?
No.
And he could turn into anything. That's what that's like. Okay, Diane texted and said the grit thing absolutely works. She said, my husband learned it from his granddad, and it works every time. That's what, if they
Grits.
see it.
Just uncooked dry grits.
No, I've heard like if you have a mouse or a rat problem, I think is what it is. You give them soda, and the same thing happens.
You give them a little Coca-Cola, huh?
Yeah, because they can't burp. So
wild.
it causes
I
problems.
like the grits idea because I can kill the ants and then I can eat it too. Not the ants, but the grits.
Not
I
after
wouldn't
it's
eat the
been
same
on the
ones.
ground.
Not on the ground,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
the that's in the box.
Okay.
We gotta teach you here. Okay,
Gotta
so
clarify.
here's Pastor Joe at 800-447-7234. Okay, Pastor Joe, you said you had a ant problem at one time at your church. What'd you do?
We called an exterminator, and he charged us about $150 for our 3 acres, and we haven't had ants. It's like every 2.5 years we have to call him back. For 3 acres of property where you have kids every week and you don't want anybody to get bit, it's kind of important.
Yeah, that's very important. You got to keep those kids from getting the fire ants,
They
getting
hurt,
into it,
and
right?
They itch for weeks.
Yeah, and
afterwards.
$150 for 3 acres. I think you have 10, 20 acres, Scott.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
0.2, something like that.
0.2, a little stamp in a neighborhood.
$1.50.
Rob and Liz in the morning.
On his radio.
You may be familiar with Amy Grant. Amy Grant, big in Christian music in the 80s and the 90s, a little bit of the millennial. But you probably are more familiar with her Christmas music. Now, I don't know if you heard, but Amy Grant a couple of months ago was in a bicycle accident.
It was rough.
It was really rough, really knocked her out. She's going to be okay. As a matter of fact, Vince Gill, her husband, just said the other day, hey, she's doing fine. She does have to be home. She has to rest right now, but she's on her way to a good recovery.
Yeah.
She's continuing to heal, and thanks for praying for
And
her.
it has been a little while, but, doctors just said, she had heart surgery a year or two ago?
It seems like it was yesterday, but yeah.
And so maybe that is part of the reason why, just a little longer, give yourself a little longer to recuperate. But she is super active.
Knowing Amy, she's got to be going nuts because she wants to be outside and active all the time. That's why she got into cycling,
And seems to me, I've never met her, but seems to me to be a very people person.
Oh, she is.
So that's got to be hard. Hopefully people are coming in to visit her. But yeah, she's not able to get out. So anyway, pray for her, the psyche too, while you're stuck at home recovering. That's hard.
She's in high spirits.
Yeah.
She's moving forward. God's on her side.
Awesome.
Helping her get through it. But thank you for praying for Amy Grant.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
On his radio.
I don't think you'll ever guess what's been on Gene's bucket list until recently.
Travel.
No, not travel. Good guess. Nice guess.
Skydive.
Not skydive. No, but good guess. One more. Gene's bucket list.
Catch a huge fish.
Okay, nice guess. That was way out there.
It was.
But no. Gene just turned 100. She's in a nursing home. Mm-hmm. She said, I've lived a great life. I've been a really good person. But on her bucket list, you'll never believe this. On her bucket list, she wants to be arrested. The cops come, put the handcuffs on her, and take her away. That's on her bucket list.
And she's been too good to be arrested, which is awesome.
She's a great person, has never done anything wrong, So the nursing home where she's at, when she's turning 100 years old, they had the party for her, the hat and everything. And the streamers, they literally called the police and said, listen, Gene wants to be arrested. Can you just come and put handcuffs on her and read her rights?
What is that conversation like?
And they did.
Oh, my God.
They came out, and then they celebrated her birthday along with her.
Of course they did. They hung out with her. But
Yeah.
what was that first conversation to, the people that work in the nursing home?
Right.
She's like, you know what I want for my birthday?
I've always wanted to be arrested. That's on my bucket list.
Somebody bring the cuffs. Take me in.
And, well, Gene got her wish.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
When we have something when we're younger, we always want our kids or grandkids to have the same thing. Like we want them to enjoy them as much as we did.
Like what?
These boo buckets that are coming out. McDonald's is going to be bringing back these buckets. They had them back, I guess, in the late 80s and maybe in the 90s through the 90s.
I don't even remember these things.
Oh, yeah. So one looks like a pumpkin, and it's got a little face on it, and that's what they sell the Happy Meals in.
Oh, the Happy Meal's in the whole bucket.
Yes, the Happy Meal
I
is
get it. Okay.
inside the bucket, and then you can reuse the bucket, for whatever. But they're coming back. And I don't know why when I saw this, I was like, oh, yeah.
How big are they? Can the kids use them on the 31st?
Yeah.
They can?
Yeah. Unless you have a big neighborhood. It gives out, full-size candy bars.
That means you go back and empty and go back out.
Right. That was my life as a child. I would go back a couple of times.
No way. Would you change costumes? No way. Come on.
Rob and Liz in the morning.
On his radio.
Michael's just minding his own business. He's working his gig. He's telling a lot of people, it's my pleasure. Yeah, he works at Chick-fil-A. Then he hears screaming. It's Rob and Liz in the morning, his radio. Turns out that outside in the parking lot of where Michael works, a lady is holding her baby. She's screaming loud for help because there's this guy that's coming toward her, has like this plank in his hand and is demanding the car keys and was going to carjack. And I think he was going to take them with him.
Oh, yeah. Well, she was taking the kid out of the car when he came up, and he grabbed the keys out of her waistband.
Oh, come on.
And was going to, make this happen. And just so happens, Michael must have been working the drive-thru or outside, if they have those lanes, and saw this all happening. He did not think for a second about calling somebody else. He just went right into action.
He gets all Chuck Norris on the guy. He goes, he tackles him, he's holding him on the ground, he's wrestling him, and then others came outside of Chick-fil-A and went and tried to help him. It's like, we got to keep this guy down. And then the police came, and they're calling this guy a hero.
Michael got him in a headlock.
Man, I tell you.
Rolled around the parking lot for a while.
Got Chris Rock on him.
I know.
Not Chuck Norris.
It was crazy wild. And so, of course, Mom and baby are just super thankful, super grateful for him. But he's also getting some acknowledgement from Chick-fil-A and I guess some of the people in the community.
Yeah, he got this. He received this framed certificate service. Got this coin from the organization as well. Special achievements from the organization. When I say organization, that's Chick-fil-A. Yeah. So they're really celebrating Michael and what he did.
And I think we all should, because that's amazing.
Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
I've never really heard of this before, but now we got to stop doing it.
Garbage Day?
Oh, no, I've heard of that.
I thought you've heard of this.
Maybe once or twice.
Yeah, she takes out her garbage from time to time. That's Joey's responsibility.
I was going to say.
That's her husband.
No, I don't.
That's what Joey does, and does a great job at it.
Yes, he does.
Garbage Day at my house, as a matter of fact, and thankfully I did bring the garbage out. I remembered. Usually I don't. So in Colorado, there's this one guy who's having a problem, and the problem is this. Bears get into his garbage on Garbage Day.
Oh, I think that's fairly common in certain areas.
So he thought, I'm going to take care of this. And so what he did was put chili powder on the top of the lid. So that when the bear would come, it would get a hold of this chili powder and go, whoop, not this garbage, and take off. Well, the garbage men came, but the bear never did. And so when the garbage guy went to take care of the garbage, the chili powder went all over him. It sounds funny, but he was blinded for a little bit.
No.
It got in his eyes. He couldn't see for a while. He's okay now.
How much chili pepper was on this?
Oh, a ton. He did not want the bear in his garbage anymore. He had enough of it. And so the police got involved only to the point where they told the community, do not booby trap your garbage cans.
I really did think, in my head, I saw this guy walking out to his trash can and just sprinkling a little bit to deter by smell the bear. He dumped a ton of chili powder.
Yeah, for the garbage man, for the waste department to get it all over him and blinding him in his eyes. Yeah.
You are right, Rob. He had enough.
Rob and Liz in the morning.
On His radio.
Yeah, it happened in North Carolina, Greensboro. There's all this noise. The police show up and go, oh, it's one of those Quincy Cara things.
Exactly, Quincy Cara. I love that.
I can't pronounce it. I don't know
It's
how to
hard.
pronounce it.
I actually called my daughter last night and I was like, let's make sure I can say it. Quinceañera.
Quinceañera?
Right.
Okay.
It's a girl's 15th birthday. And so that's what they were doing. They were having a party. And a quinceañera is so awesome because you get totally dressed up like a formal gown kind of a thing. And the entire family, all the friends, probably the community comes out and they party. They have a little party.
Yeah, they're really celebrating her 15th birthday. And so did the police officers when they showed up. They went, oh, there's nothing bad happening here. Oh, you're celebrating your 15th? We're going to have cake.
Exactly. They stayed around for a little dinner, a little cake. And I'm sure they didn't stay long. And, if they'd have gotten a call for something else, they would have lit out of there. But they helped celebrate this little girl's birthday.
You got pictures. They're all over Facebook.
I love that. And just getting into and investing in the community. There you go.
Rob and Liz in the morning.
On His radio.
So there was a flight that was going to Hawaii from L.A., and when all the occupants got on, all the travelers on their way, they walk in, and there is a ukulele, brand new ukulele, not one of the plastic ones that you get at the dollar store or something like that, like a really nice ukulele sitting in their seat. And of course, everybody's like, oh, that's kind of cool, like a souvenir on our way to Hawaii. But then there was another thing that happened. There was an actual ukulele lesson.
For real?
Yeah, Guitar Center set this up with the airline. And so everybody on the flight from first class to the very last row learned how to play a song between when they left LA and when they got to Hawaii. I'd be all in. This sounds like so much fun. This is what dreams for me are made of.
To learn how to do the ukulele?
Not necessarily learn how to play the ukulele, just that whole everybody doing one thing and having a party and having fun.
I am sorry. No.
You would not.
No, not
You're
like
a musician. You don't know how to play the ukulele, do you? Well, I mean, you probably would a little bit.
Yeah, but to everybody sit down is like, okay, everybody do this. I mean,
I don't think it was like, okay, everybody.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it.
No, I think it was more
me.
like, I can't do a ukulele song. But
Ben's musical, I think Ben is in for Ninja, our producer. Is this up your alley?
Well, yes, I am musical, but I don't like the idea of like forced ukulele lessons on a
Yeah,
flight.
see, that's what I'm talking about too.
It's not forced. You can opt out.
It is
If I went to a
forced.
class for it and we were all doing it, that's one thing. Like I signed up for it, but if I'm on a flight, I'm just putting on my AirPods and I'm zoning out. I'm just doing my own thing.
True that.
Y'all some
Yeah.
Debbie Downers. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
This
well-
is so much fun.
See, if there was karaoke on the airplane, Liz would be all in.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
You have no idea. Please, someone do that and give me a ticket.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
Phil, F-I-L-L. If you text that, there's a possibility you could win. Are you ready for this? $100 a week for a year. That's 52 weeks. $100 a week to fill up your tank or your pantry.
Yeah, whatever you want, gas or groceries, totally up to you. And it's Phil, F-I-L-L.
Not the name Phil.
Uh-uh.
We love Phil. He's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
He's just not going to respond to you, nor is Phil going to give you $100 a week.
You know, I gotta say, everyone I know that's named Phil is a very good guy.
Right?
But this is a totally different kind of Phil, which is still good because it ends up filling your tank. It's F-I-L-L. Just text that word to 800-447-7234. And yes, you're right, Rob. You could end up with $100 a week.
That's cool. It's called the first day. Fill up $100 a week for a year because you're going to help fill the tank of his radio to help keep the message of hope alive as you share the hope of Jesus.
Maybe we fill the tank of Phil's tank.
Boy, she's confusing me.
Isn't that the norm?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Rob and Liz in the morning.
On his radio.
Scott and I have something in common, and that something in common is we're very predictable about what we wear.
Oh.
Liz is like classy. She's got something different on and looks sharp all the time. You'll see her on his radio TV. Looks amazing. Scott and I, we just kind of, we wear the same things all the time.
I don't think you wear the same things all the time, but I will say you have a style. You, Rob, tend to like the button down and the jeans, that kind of thing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Scott's pretty much the same. Right, Scott?
Some work slacks, some jeans, and they just kind of get in the same rotation over and over. I need a shake up.
See? So there's a hack now on the new iPhone platform.
Oh, I heard about this.
Yeah, so if you've upgraded your iPhone, if you got the 14, it's so simple. Now you can set up your iPhone that'll help you with your clothing.
So I tried to figure it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, here's my thing. You have to, and I enjoy putting outfits together. I love this. So you put together an outfit, you take a picture of yourself.
Right.
The update will allow you to put it in your notes in your phone.
Yeah.
Without all the stuff in the background.
It takes out the background.
Okay.
Oh, it's so simple.
Which is fine. It's taking a picture of you and getting rid of all the distraction in the back.
Right.
It's not picking outfits for you.
No, so here's the thing. Somebody, and Scott will need help with this as well. Right, Scott?
Yes.
Yeah, you need help with this as well. So here's the thing. Have somebody, like Amy will pick out my outfits if I take a picture of me in the full outfit. Then I can put that design of me wearing that in my notes.
Okay, now this makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
This makes sense. If you don't think you can put together an outfit, somebody else puts it together for you. You take a picture. You always know. I like that.
But it takes out the background. That's the thing. So, like, for instance, I got a picture of me at the beach, okay? And so if I take this picture of me at the beach and I hold my finger on the picture, you'll see that it goes over the whole body. You can copy that and then go over into your notes and paste that into your notes. The whole background is out. It's really a cool thing on how that works.
It's gone. That is not a picture of you at the beach.
Yeah, it's a picture of me at the beach.
No, it is not. But, so I like that. If you have somebody else put together your outfits, but it's not picking the way I heard it in my head and hoped it would be, was it would give me new ideas.
Yeah. Oh, no.
For my outfits.
No. But it is an idea.
That's what I need.
It will help Scott.
It will.
Yes. So it just helps me decide, is this going to look good today, right?
But if it looked good last week, it's going to look good next week.